Hey guys, looks like we're live. We'll begin starting in a few minutes. Go ahead and enter in our giveaway so you'll be ready. Later on, we pick our winners. Either dollar.
Ahoy mateys! It be Black Six here, and by some strange coincidence it be Talk Like a Pirate Day, so we'll see how long I be able to be keeping this up. Welcome back everyone. We're here to finish our build of 21322 Pirates of Barracuda Bay that we be starting last week. This gorgeous set that be falling apart. So last week we built the two main island sections and this one piece of the boat, the beautiful Black Seas Barracuda. And now it be time to finish her up. I'd be glad you're enjoying that dollar. Alrighty, on to bag number 8. I don't know how long my throat be able to hold out. I hope all ye landlubbers be having a good week. look like we be starting the prow of the ship using these large boat hull pieces. Let's see if we can move some things around a little bit. So in our newly moved picture-in-picture, you can see better what it is we're building. Of course, if you have any feedback on how we're laying things out, we'd love to hear it. Indeed, so far this definitely be one of my favorite sets as well. Right up there with the Saturn V. See you later, dollar. Alright, so for the sake of my throat, I think I'm gonna take it easy on the pirate talk. But it was really coincidental that I woke up this morning and saw everyone talking about Talk Like a Pirate Day. I'm like, oh, we're building a pirate set. But on the front of the ship here, you can see in our picture-in-picture, we're adding in some mixel ball joints, which, switching to our main camera view, will line up probably nicely with these sockets we put in previously. You can see how that's going to work.
So I hope everyone's been doing well this past week, hanging in there as best we can during the current situation and all that. I know everyone's got their own favorite weather, but right now for me it's cooled down a lot here in Maryland and it has gotten downright lovely. Went for a walk this morning before getting ready for the stream, and it was, you know, fairly cool, nice and breezy. Absolutely loved it. It's almost getting down to jacket weather, which is like the best time of the year. Late jacket weather. Although it does look like it's going to get a little warmer this coming week. I think right around the time where it actually technically becomes fall, it's going to get warmer again. That's a good figure. As far as Lego news goes, this morning Lego announced a new set, the Batwing from the 1989 Batman film. Ties in nicely with last year's Batmobile. It's kind of funny because, you know, having rewatched that movie earlier this year before we did our own Batmobile build, the Batwing honestly does not feature that much in the movie. It's in like one scene and it gets shot out of the sky, was what I remember happening. And that was kind of like about it. But it still looks like it's a really awesome set with like a lot of detail in it, so I'm still looking forward to it. It's kind of like an interesting choice. Like I said in our news post on the front page, what I really want to see is the Batman animated series Batmobile from the 90s TV show. I think that will be a lot cooler. Alright, prow starting to take shape with our second boat hull piece going in. Love how nicely those line up with each other. I definitely like these more modern boat hull pieces versus the older ones because they definitely allow for a lot more kind of flexibility in what you're building. Give you like a lot more options because it's just kind of like just the base. And everything else is up to you. Whereas the older ones were a lot taller. And if you want to know a little secret, don't want anyone to know I told you, you can expect some more interesting Lego announcements on Monday. Can't say what they are, but there's going to be 2 announcements. And one, at least, I'm super excited about. So if you guys watch enough of these streams, you know me, you know what I'm into, you might be able to take a guess at least a little bit about what it might be. Do this wrong. This is actually kind of an interesting technique here. We've got like the little 1x1 bracket piece, and then put a plate and a headlight brick and a plate on top of that, which basically turns it, you know, like levels those out, which seems like an odd design. Like I feel like there's other ways with other pieces they could do that, so I'm kind of curious why they chose that way. And what that gains us, I guess we'll see as we keep building. Yes, at the end of the day, we built all this up so you could put this 1x4 curve slope on there. It's kind of interesting we put a tile here instead of a plate. If it was a plate, that would have been another connection point, but maybe they just didn't have any room for 1x1 black plates in the inventory, and that is kind of visible in the final build. And again, so is the gray though. You can see that gray peeking through, so I'm not sure why they couldn't have put a gray plate there to hold it on a little better. Not that I think it's gonna come off, but just a odd decision. Yeah, so that Batwing announcement definitely makes me curious if that's gonna be like the start of like a more regular thing. I feel like for a little while we were getting like a lot of big Batman sets in like the early 2000s, right? There was like the kind of original UCS Batmobile they made that wasn't specifically based on any particular like movie or comic or anything. But it was a large-scale Batmobile set, and then there was the Tumbler and stuff, and then it was kind of quiet for a while. And I guess DC decided, hey, we want to step things up. And considering that this Batwing is coming out 1 year after the Batmobile last year, seems obvious that they were planning both of these to begin with. It's not like they made the Batmobile and it sold super well. It's like, oh, quick, let's make the Batwing as well. That's not quite how Lego product development works generally. It's 1 year would be a really quick turnaround on that. Oops. All right, got the prow forming here. So I guess last year was like a big anniversary for Batman. So maybe that was kind of like the thing that spurred this whole idea on. It was the fact that they had that big anniversary coming up, and they're like, all right, let's make this happen. And from what I remember, though, if they wanted to like keep up this whole Batmobile or UCS Batman sets, like Batman Returns, I think used pretty much the same Batmobile as you know, Batman from 1989, except that it was the one that like it splits apart, and then you give like the, I guess, Bat Bullet or whatever it was called. I'm not sure the official name. Like it was like a motorcycle kind of thing that comes out of the center of the Batmobile. So I guess they could maybe do like a second version of the Batmobile that can do that, or just that center thing. I think the second one had the Bat boat as well, I want to say, because it had the penguin and stuff. So they could do that potentially. And then you start getting into the later Batman films, and then it just kind of goes crazy with all the different Bat vehicles. We're like, all right, for every Bat vehicle we put in the movie, we can make at least 3 different toy versions of it to sell. Plus put it all over like t-shirts and lunch boxes and stuff like that. So I feel like it became a marketing thing, and like the Batmobile from some of the later Batman movies, especially the George Clooney ones, are just very, very crazy out there ideas, which could be interesting to see in Lego form. But I guess it remains to be seen how much people are going to be into that. Guess we'll see how well the Batwing sells, and if anything comes after that. It looks like we're already just about done with bag 8. This has been pretty quick assembly here. Maybe we'll get like a tie-in or something for the new Batman movie that's coming out with Robert Pattinson. Which I remember when like the first pictures of that Batmobile kind of started leaking out, and it had like a very muscle car look to it, which I think would be cool. I think I could get behind that. This is a cool little detail here. We've got this little snot brick here. We've got these quarter circle tiles, and so that like wraps around nicely to give a nice effect there. Also kind of covers up the corner and transitions the white to the brown. All right, yeah, so that is bag 8, the start of the prow of our ship. You can see you've got some connection points here with a mixel socket and some clips that presumably will be probably using like one of these pieces to attach onto here for that foremast or whatever it's called. And then again with the mixel balls on here, you'll both be able to connect it onto the island, and then if we scooch this guy out, you can see we also have some mixel sockets on here that is able to connect to. So you can start getting an idea of the whole ship there. Now I just have to take this apart without breaking everything. There we go. Did pop something out over here. And yeah, I might have taken a sneak peek at the instructions after last week's build, just to kind of get an idea of what to expect and It's not like a super simple transition, I guess. To go from the island to the ship. There's like a few steps involved. I think I'm gonna try to tweak my setup here so you guys have better visibility in what I'm building in picture-in-picture. I might even like kind of angle that over a bit. Instead of having a tray of parts here that I have to keep reaching for, I'm going to put all the parts on the left side. Put the minifigs back here. We actually have a new minifig we'll be building in this bag. Oh, we got a naked minifigure torso as well. That's probably going to be for the front of the ship. Alright, so our next pirate. Probably had her name in the instructions, but don't remember what that was at this point. There he is. Definitely a callback to some of the classic pirate minifigs. Arr. Definitely cool design, very simple, like the back printing. I do like how they kept the minifig simple, like there's no leg printing on any of them, but you know, it's not like super simple torsos, but simple enough. And of course we also have the classic map tile. It's definitely been updated since the late 80s, but I'm sure if you took out one of those old 80s ones, you could definitely see the similarities. I always thought that it looked like this was like northern North America there, like Nova Scotia, Canada, and then that's like Greenland and Iceland. It's kind of what it always looked like to me, but it didn't make much sense that that would be where the pirates in the Caribbean would be sailing. So I'm not quite sure if that is true or not, but that's what it was modeled after. I'm sure someone out there knows the answer. So if you do, let me know. Because I would definitely love to hear that lore of like how that map got made. This is a cool technique. We've got this 4x4 round plate with a hole in it, and we're going to be putting it on here, but there's no studs, so we're flipping it upside down and putting it in these little diamond holes in here, which are the same size as the stud. So it's a really cool technique. Definitely did not have that back in the day when the pirate sets first came out. Looks like we're definitely focusing on the top of the prow here. We're gonna make this all pretty and stuff. Yeah, so our inverted round plate here can perfectly fit in some round bricks. Start building up where the mast is going to be. Oh, it looks like we're going to actually be making like some sort of functional, almost like a winch or something. So you've got a lot of these little round plates with the bars on them, and some more of our 4x4 round plates with the hole. We're making like a, almost looks like a ship's wheel kind of design with these guys. Only putting 7 of these on because the last one is we've got a piece of string here, which is held together with some masking tape, so it's going to become unwound. Just see if I can sneak that through. Oh, uh-oh. Knife to the rescue. Don't cut myself and don't cut the string. There we go, maybe. Come on. Some tough tape. Alright, so then that goes on our last stud. Lock everything in with one of these round plates. Cover it up with some quarter circle tiles. And then this whole thing pops on here, so you can see you can kind of spool that up. And I wasn't really trying to get it nice and clean, but I'm sure we can probably do it cleanly around there. It actually does look like that's what they want us to do. So this is supposed to go out through this little slit here, and so if you kind of put a little tension on it here as you spin it, you can get it to kind of come up. Oh, this is probably for the anchor. That makes sense. So yeah, definitely I've built pirate and pirate type sets with anchors that spin up and stuff, but usually they use a much simpler mechanism, not an awesome brick built mechanism like that. So that's definitely really cool. I do see an anchor in our bag of parts here, so we have that to look forward to in a little bit. looks like we're ready to build the main mast here. So, gonna push this off to the side a little bit, give us some space. Break out this guy. Some good old Paraka spine pieces from the Bionicle system sets. Interesting little goof in the instructions here. It's odd because usually I'm the one who's goofing through the instructions. Just showing the wrong pieces in the steps here. Like in this step, they say, hey, put this clip on this 1x1 round brick, but the clip doesn't show up until the next step. Hey there, Box Commander. Welcome.
Ahoy, matey.
So we've got our mast here. You can see we put a little mixel socket on there. And now this goes on like so. And then, I was supposed to put it in an angle before I attached it. So it's like a little loose here, but then it pops into that mixel socket there. And now it is nice and sturdy. Alright, we're just kind of building up the front here. I do appreciate like little splashes of yellow we're putting in. Give it some good color. This kind of cool detail here. We've got this, I guess, 2x4 slope brick. It's got a kind of interesting compound curve slope. We're attaching that to some snot bricks here to go from the slopes to more curved front shape. Kind of give it a gradual sloping there. Doesn't line up completely perfectly, but it does the trick, I think. We're kind of finishing the job with some cheese slopes to really lock it all together. It definitely gives it a nice clean look. Alright, already did that. Oh, alright now. So you can see in our trays down here, mainly we've just got a lot of yellow pieces left, so we're going to do a lot of like the decorative details now, it would seem. Got like some yellow flex axles here. Curious to see how all this gets used. Yeah, I guess if you were thinking that the boat was looking maybe a little on the bland side with all the black and brown, we're about to get a big shock of color here. This whole thing attaches to these clips from before. And then flex axles go onto here. So it kind of makes like a railing on the front there. Really like this, the shaping that you get with those flex axles. And of course that lovely splash of color. And then finishing up with our all yellow minifig torso, head, and hair that pops onto the front. And it's like the masthead. Bunch of yellow cones going in for the railing. Let's see if I can scoop all these out of here. definitely loving all of the color we've got going in here. Alright, finally I get to put the anchor on. Hopefully I pull this out. It's gonna be... Oh, I realized I took a piece of string that was kind of loose, and they gave me another piece. Quite a bit of string here. Hopefully they're the same length. Alright, let's see if we can fish this out of here. Oh, it doesn't have a through hole, so I can't really get this. There we go. Once you actually attach the anchor, then you have to worry about that. So you can see we can pull the anchor up, pull it out, and then just spin it back in there. All right, just about done with around bag 9. Just a few little interior details left, some steps on the inside to go up to the prow. Probably should have done these lower ones before the upper ones. Oh, that's actually it. Where was the cutlass supposed to go? Oh, it was probably an extra from the pirate, okay. Alright, get rid of our extra parts. Move on to bag 10. We're gonna be going up. Gonna be building the mast. So we have a couple ladder pieces, our mast piece, some string. I really hope all those strings are the same length. It's kind of confusing to me why they put some strings loose and some in the bags. I guess we'll find out if they're not long enough. Uh-oh. Broken palm tree. Off to the side for now so we can focus on the mast. I've got some little string pieces. Guess because I just want to really confuse us. got a classic pirate flag piece. Slightly updated design from the 80s, but still pretty instantly recognizable. Got a long Technic axle. Alright, back to making Lego shish kebabs here. Scooching some of these guys up, give us some more space. Time to put this in here, which it will go down the bottom where we already have some round bricks. So there's quite a bit of friction. But that does mean once this is in place, we can pick it up by that mast and it is not going anywhere. Alright, so I think it does mean we have to adjust our camera a bit if we can. So we start building up on the mast. That didn't work. Stay. Alright, lock those guys in, some axles. And then get to put the ladders on. got another parrot joining us, mainly blue with a little bit of yellow on there. Let's go up in the crow's nest. Guess it's more of a parrot's nest in this case. Definitely a lot more Technic involved in these pirate ships than we had back in the day. Kind of makes me curious to go dig up one of my old pirate ships. I guess I only really had one pirate ship as a kid. I still have it somewhere. Kind of makes me curious to go dig that back up and see how like the construction of these masts compares. Like, were they that much like ricketier back then? Because they didn't have as much Technic construction, or I can make up for it in other ways. Oh, I just realized I put this in the wrong click hinge. There we go. And that one goes up there. I think this camera doesn't go far enough back. Let's see if we can fix this. Alright, we can at least see both parts now, both of the two mast pieces. Alright, looks like we're just about done with bag 10. So I'm going to put our giveaway link up. I feel like, you know, Technic has been like a slow addition to system lines. Like, it's kind of gradually snuck its way in over time. But maybe I'm just, you know, not remembering things right because that was a long time ago. Okay, since we got the giveaway link up, we'll move over here so you guys can see a little better. And that mast not doing too well. It's at an angle. It's got a vine growing on it. Some string pieces. Another one of these big strings. this tape, definitely annoying. All right. So we got one little string up here. I'm trying to like line them up the same way they do as far as like which one goes on top of the other. Trying to make sure that they're aligned right. Big one. Our big one goes down through there and underneath. That looks good. And we've got a little string going off to the side there. Oh, time for some sails. All right. Trying to figure out which sail piece they want us to use. Okay, I think that one's pretty straightforward. And we still got looks like three sails left. So this one is triangular, ish, a little curvy, and we want us to roll it up. Probably don't want to roll it up too much because then it's going to like stay wavy when you unroll it. But we do have to wrap it up with the string piece. So that's supposed to go like this-ish. So this is technically not attached to anything. It is really just held on by this piece of string. And somehow it looks like we've ended up with an extra piece of string. And this is going underneath. This is kind of interesting that this is attaching on here. It's only attached by 4 studs out of 8. There we go. And so now it's kind of stuck at an angle there. And yeah, I guess this string is extra. They usually give us extra string. I've not gotten any before. Hopefully means didn't screw something up, but all right. Okay, so now we get to put this on our island. And those Mixel sockets I mentioned earlier. So it just snaps in and then just kind of leans down there. And we are one step closer in finishing our Pirates of Barracuda Bay. Looks like the next bag, 11, we're going to be using our last boat hull piece. We're going to be working on the aft of the boat with the rudder and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to grab our 11 bags. I'm going to grab them through the set. We're going to open them up. And then we're going to pick out our next winner. Or our first winner, I guess. I guess next, since we had winners last week, but first for today. right, so let's get rid of our giveaway link and pick out our first winner for today. Paleo Bricks, congratulations. You've won a K2SO buildable figure. So yep, you know the drill. We'll be sending you an email. You'll verify your address and we will ship it out to you. Easy peasy. Alright, could probably tilt this down again. Oh, the classic musket piece. I end up with a frying pan instead of a hat. Alright, so our next pirate, the twin. Forget if this one is port or starboard. Just trying to give you a good look at his face before I give him his mustache. There we go. Nice and mustachioed. Gets his little red bandana cap. His musket. And his cutlass. There we go. Another pirate. Yet another. We still got quite a few more. And we'll sneak him in here next to his brother, I guess. Alright, so now we got our boat hull piece, our last one. If I had to guess, this is going to be where like the captain's quarters are. Maybe not the lower deck. It might be above where we're building now. That's where the captain ends up going. And yeah, we haven't built good old Captain Brickbeard yet, or Captain Redbeard, whatever his name is. Yeah, I guess it's Captain Redbeard, and now he's more Captain Greybeard. When ye be sailing the 7 seas for as long as he has, ye be lucky to be alive, so you don't mind the gray hair. shade on our back window here. Wondering if that's one of the things that was added after the shipwreck. Couple of sub-assemblies. I was kind of curious, if you look at the sides here, we've got these cheese slopes kind of sloped inwards, which seems a little odd, but we're about to make like a wall piece that's going to go and rest on those and I guess clip into these little clips here. So even though the instructions aren't telling me to, as per usual, I'm building both sides at the same time. What could possibly go wrong, I say? Just gotta make the mirror images of each other. Yeah, I mean, I'd say so far, just like considering the amount of set you get with this guy, you know, it's a $200 set, which, you know, definitely isn't cheap, but I mean, this thing is like massive, and we're not even done. We still have like a whole other section to finish up in here. So you definitely get a lot of set for your money. There's, you know, a lot of minifigs in it, a lot of awesome details. It's kind of like two sets in one, since you can either be the island or you can rebuild it as the Black Seas Barracuda. So yeah, definitely a lot going on in here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Like Dollar, I think, was saying earlier that this is like one of his his favorite idea sets. And I was saying that this definitely is up there for me, along with the Saturn V, which I think LEGO just kind of announced accidentally. Like, it wasn't like a major announcement or anything, but they are re-releasing the Saturn V and the Ship in a Bottle idea sets. They're gonna have new set numbers for whatever reason. I think it's just like a production thing on LEGO's side, but those two are coming back. And if you're looking at like value and awesomeness, both of those are definitely fantastic. I think the Saturn V is definitely one of my favorite idea sets, and part of that's the subject matter because I love, you know, space flight and the space race, but it's just a fantastic build. So I definitely suggest you pick that up if you did not. You know, obviously there's a lot of factors going in as far as how much people can spend on a LEGO set, but if you're looking for a good one, that Saturn V is definitely every penny. Yeah, I mean, this is a over 2,500 piece set that you're getting for 200 bucks, so that's like a good value right there. You know, there's no stickers in this set either, so that's kind of a cool thing. I guess idea sets started off like that, like no idea sets had stickers, but we've kind of seen them get away from that here and there, but there are no stickers here. Everything, like, you know, like these cool shapes and stuff that we're building with tiles and stuff, that's all brick built and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely is a great build. All right, so yeah, now we built 2 of these wall pieces. And they go into these clips. And yeah, you can see that they line up perfectly with these cheese slopes. And on the back, they line up with the slopes. Here. Make some awesome shapes. And I don't think there's going to be any major differences in those re-releases. It's like literally just like a production thing. Like just however LEGO manages their inventory behind the scenes. And yes, no, that question was definitely asked to them directly by some of the ambassadors, and they said no differences. All right, and some interior details here. Adding like a little table, some bottles in it. This looks like it's getting built up into like a little fireplace. Because, you know, fire in a wooden pirate ship, always a good idea. I'm sure they have good ways to control it, I hope. Looks like he's baking a cookie on a little frying pan here. Some more details in the captain's cabin. I guess what I assume. Oh no, I guess this is probably just the galley or something. A little frying pan or pot with some soup in there. Oh hey, another wall piece that we already built. Well, yeah, as far as you know, like differences in those LEGO idea sets, there's definitely a little bit of wait and see to that, because it's one thing when LEGO says, oh yeah, there's no differences, and then someone's gonna get their hands on it and build it, and they're gonna say, oh yeah, there's actually, they replaced, you know, this 2x4 with 2 2x2s or something like that. But the theory, LEGO hasn't come out and said, so LEGO's told the ambassadors, you know, there's a lot of demand for those sets, and that's why they're bringing them back. And then the question was like, well, what about this idea set and that idea set? Like, isn't there a demand for those too? But you know, it also depends on what parts are currently in production. So if they still had a lot of those parts in the available, makes it a lot easier to bring that set back versus like, I don't know, old fishing store or Curiosity Rover, or some of the ones that other people might say, oh no, but those are definitely in demand. So by that logic, if a lot of the parts are still available, hopefully that means there's like not any or many changes from the initial version. There we go. Make sure everything was lined up there. The thoughts on the UCS Batwing? I like it. I think it looks like a pretty great design. I'm hoping this means we get more UCS style Batman sets in the future. Love to see that. Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. I'm just going to keep saying that. And I'm hoping if I say it enough that it actually happens. Like, you know, the Batwing, as I was saying before, like it doesn't really feature in the movie that much, but it's still pretty sweet. Cool looking vehicle that I think will make a fun set. Alright, so we're about to make the rudder, which is going to, looks like it's going to pull a little bit of double duty in this set, which we'll see in a couple minutes after we build it. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that UCS Batwing. I think you can probably expect us to do a live build of that at some point in the future. Although because of how the request process works for getting sets from LEGO, probably not until next year. Alright, so there is the rudder. I'm gonna flip this around and attach this on. So, yep. And you can see now that the rudder is going to double as a door. So it's not going to be very handy when it's in ship mode because you're going to have this big opening, but right now it's a door. But I'm sure we'll fix it up before we go into ship mode. I will say I'm definitely, more than the Batwing, I'm looking forward to the next set LEGO is going to be announcing that you guys can expect to see on Monday. Mainly because of the subject matter. I think the Batwing is a fantastic set, but there's other things I like more than Batman. Alright, put the top of this on here. Trying to figure out how this is supposed to line up. They're not making that very clear in the instructions. I think it goes like that. Alright, almost done with this bag here. Starting to lock all this stuff together up top. Make it nice and sturdy. There we go. That is it for bag 11. So you can see we've got like a little kitchen area here, and then our rudder door, which I'm guessing this is gonna go like over here. Something like that. Or maybe the other way around. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright, bag 12. So it looks like bag 12, we're going to be building up one wall. I guess bag 13 will be the other wall. Gonna be like done before we know it here. Then we get to convert this whole thing into a seaworthy pirate ship. Arr. I guess this part is probably gonna be where the captain's cabin will be. So Box Commander, what are your thoughts on the UCS Batwing? Are you not a fan, or are you all about that Batman? So we're making a little desk area, possibly. So I assume the flag is, or the plume is supposed to be like a quill. It's called teacup, and a printed tile with a compass on it. It goes in here, right underneath the window. I do hope with the UCS Batwing that it is in scale with the 1989 Batmobile, because that would really be a bummer if it wasn't. So I assume it probably is. It looks like it is. You know, it's a little hard to tell until we see them next to each other. But I really hope to be able to kind of display them next to each other. And I also really like that the Batwing has like a stand, so it can kind of be like in flight mode. And I did think it was also interesting that if you look at the press release and the pictures, we've got them up on BZPower this morning, that it includes what I assume is the same Technic piece that the Lego art sets have, so you can hang it on your wall, which I thought was kind of cool. Not sure that I would do that. Maybe if I had like a better spot to display it than I currently do, I would consider it, but based on where I've got the Batmobile, I don't think I'd want to put the Batwing on the wall next to it. But it's cool to have that option. Alright, so we've got some hinge pieces going in here. Just curious to see how this plays into our design. Probably going to be so it can kind of slope along this big slope here. Oh yeah, and then this will attach. Nope, not like that, like that. Yeah, so you can see it's probably gonna go like that. Probably exactly like that. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. This is kind of cool. We just built this little assembly, which I believe is modeled after what used to be like an all-in-one part. There was just like a single part that was like this decorative kind of design. A little hard to tell because it's like all black, but it used to be like a little brick-built assembly they had that was used in a lot of pirate and castle sets. And here it looks very nice as a little kind of cap for the window. Now we got some more yellow coming in for what will be the railing, I assume. We'll probably still have a couple of bags until we get to that part. so many little details. I'm like, I want to attach this to the part I built before. But like, nope, you got more cool stuff to build first. We just put this 1x4 slope on these snot bricks, and now we're adding a lantern to hang off the back. I guess technically it's not hanging, it will be going up like that. Alright, now we get to put it on here. So you can see that goes like that. And then just put that in. Go in here. So you can see that the whole thing is at an angle. We've got a mixel socket here. And then we've got these plates with bars and clips with some pneumatic tees. I assume these are all going to kind of come into play to put the back on at some point. Really awesome shaping here. We still have some more details I guess we're going to put in before we call it a day on this bag. Let's up a little bit. Railing continuing on up here. Couple of steps. I learned to put the bottom step on first that time. Now going to the outside. Adding on some vines and some leaves. Also some gold clips on here. That little overgrown shipwreck look. These new lantern pieces, pretty fantastic. Definitely put to good use in this set so far. And looks like the end of this bag, we've got a treasure chest, which we're putting in a trophy for, I guess, best captain ever. And a couple of jewels in yellow, trans yellow and trans light blue. Get the lid on that treasure chest. And because of the trophy, it does not close all the way. Looks like it goes right about there. All right, on the bag, 13. I think there's what, 15? Yeah, so 14, there are two numbers, so 2 bags. 15, I think, is the conversion bag. Gives you all the parts you need to convert the island into the boat. I think we've got our last minifig in this bag. Good old Captain Redbeard. So yeah, he is, his torso, definitely immediately recognizable. Not the same exact print, obviously, as we had back in the day, but a modern, kind of updated version. He's got his gold epaulets, and his red beard, you can see it's got like a little bit of gray in there now. He's seen some better days, and we finish him off with his captain's hat and his cutlass. Magnificent. So many memories of pirate sets back in the day. You know, even though I didn't have a big pirate ship, you know, Redbeard was available in enough of the smaller sets that I did have a Redbeard or two. So I definitely remember him fondly. Alright, scooch you out of the way. While we build, looks like another desk area for him. Got another printed map tile. Same design. I guess we're like, alright, well, if we're including one in this set, we might as well include two. Just to get our money's worth. Got some candles going in to light up his room. Some other great recent pieces that were added in the last couple years. Remember when they first showed up at Toy Fair and they were like, oh, this is so awesome. Now it's like, oh, are we ever going to have Toy Fair again thanks to COVID? It's crazy because I've been like going to Toy Fair every year in some form or another since like 2005. In February every year. And now next year they've already announced it's going to be delayed. They're hoping it's going to take place in the spring. We'll have to see what the situation brings. And I don't blame them. I certainly don't want to go to one of the largest convention centers in the country with thousands of other people. Alright, looks like Redbeard's getting a nice comfy chair now. Yeah, I think he's earned some creature comforts in his old age. A few cool details in this chair. You can see they use the 1x1 round plate with the bar and a candlestick in gold for these armrests. So that's really cool. And they used a 2x2 plate that only has 2 studs on it sideways because obviously on Redbeard's legs he only has studs on his actual leg, and so that means he is able to sit and enjoy this comfy chair. So lovely attention to detail there. And then the whole chair here is on a 2x2 jumper plate, so it can kind of spin a little bit, where you can easily pop it out. And it looks like he's Rootbeer's a bit of an art collector. He's got like a statue bust here. In his little study. And I guess they want us to add in all of the details before we put the wall in, because once that wall goes in, it'll definitely be a lot harder to put those in there. So now we're going to be building the wall again, so we'll push that off to the side so we can focus on that. It looks like we are going to have some differences between the two sides, so that's kind of cool. A little refreshing there. Even if they only turn out to be slight differences, anything is enough. So what else do we have to talk about today? Always open to any suggestions people have, but I think last week talked about possibly going to see a movie, and I did. I went and saw New Mutants, which, despite some of like the reviews that don't seem to like it, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I only recently started reading the New Mutants comics. That's been like since they did the reboot with the Dawn of X last year or the year before, whenever that was. So I was kind of familiar with most of the characters, definitely some different takes on them. Since they were kind of already all established in the comics I've been reading, like I, don't quite have the context of all of their backstories, so I'm not sure how those compared to the comics or anything, but I definitely enjoyed it overall, I would say. Thought all the cast did a fantastic job, and thought the direction was fine. Yeah, might have kind of changed things from the original origin stories a bit, but I think most superhero movies do that to some degree. You're never going to find one that's like a perfect adaptation, or you're going to be looking for a long time if you do. And then it was kind of interesting that me and the person I went with were the only ones in the theater, so I definitely felt safe. As far as COVID and stuff goes, the theater had lots of hand sanitizer and keeping social distancing, and then I guess no one else wants to see a movie, so had the whole theater to ourselves. So yeah, New Mutants. Do you recommend if you like the X-Men? Alright, looks like we're getting close to finishing up with this bag. So that means it'll be about time for our next giveaway. Alright, so we're on the last page. I'm going to put up the giveaway link. Once we finish this bag, I'm going to take a quick break. And then when I get back, we'll pick our winner. Oh, looks like we're making a little bed for Redbeard here. I forgot to turn off the picture so you can't see. So it's kind of interesting there. They use it using some clips and bars. So it goes in there so it can fold up into the window and fold out when he needs it. And this whole assembly goes on there. And that folds in. Couple of details to wrap it up here, a couple steps, finish off the railing there. Alright, so yeah, definitely looking like the back of a boat. Can see we do have these two Technic connection points, plus the ones down here. Well, that'll be likely how we connect this to the main section that's right here. And yeah, let's grab our number 14 bag. Gonna go on mute. Alright, well thanks for joining us while you could, Box Commander. Always a pleasure to have you here. Alright, and I will be right back in a couple minutes, and we will pick our next winner. Alright, I am back. Let's do that. Let's see who our next winner is going to be. Lord Oblivion, congrats. You have won an Elite TIE Fighter pilot. So we'll be sending you an email, you'll confirm your address, and we'll send you a prize. Alright, looks like we do have one more minifig that we'll be building right here as we put the finishing touches on the stern of the boat. So we got a lovely lady pirate here. Definitely like the torso there. She's got some, I guess I should show off the back before I put the hair on. She's got, I don't know, more of a cleaver than a cutlass, and her little flintlock pistol. There we go. All right. Got some big plates, nice big pirate flag on here. Just get some of this stuff out of my way so I can find the pieces I need. And on the door here, wunderbar. The thing we're building now looks like it's going to be kind of an interesting assembly here. Seems like it's going to be something that we're going to end up taking off later when we have to turn this into a boat. So I'm kind of curious to see like how modular it is. Maybe it's something we won't have to take off. Maybe they're going to kind of incorporate it into the boat somehow. Have to wait and see. So we kind of just made like a set of steps and a little walkway that are going to go into these two Technic pinholes. So they line up with the door and they just kind of lead off to the side here. So I feel like that's probably not going to be in the pirate ship, but it might line up with like the stairs over here somehow. All right, now we get to make the back. That's going to connect onto here, so we're going to scooch that off to the side. And already off to some interesting dimensions with these 1x5 Technic plates. It's interesting when we have like odd dimensions in the Lego set. Because so much of what they do is kind of designed to be even. Everything, 2x4 and all that kind of stuff. In this case, I assume it has to do with the fact that we're trying to put it in to the back of the boat here, which is going to be at like a compound angle at like 2 different angles. So yeah, we've got like an 11 wide structure right there. So here are our mixel ball joints that are going to go into the sockets that are like right there. some little decorations here on the stern. Some cool little details going on there. Starting to get a little top heavy, because this is all only 1 brick wide at the bottom, but up to 3 at the top, so it's a little difficult to balance. I think it's definitely coming together pretty awesomely. There's like the contrast between the yellow and the black. All the details we're adding in, with some like clips and bars and snot bricks that I'm sure will be the basis for some cool further details. I'm guessing these clips are going to be where the big, Jolly Roger flag is going to attach to. Some nice yellow along the sides to cover up kind of the ugliness. Now it looks like we have to take, a beautiful looking back of the ship, and we have to kind of ugly it up a little to make it, to kind of get back to that shipwrecked aesthetic. So along the bottom here, we put these snot bricks. There's an actually, we're going to be covering up one of the windows with this. So it looks like it's boarded up and there's vines growing out. We're opening up this window and putting like another vine growing into there. So it's looking nice and pretty, but maybe now not so much. Oh, okay, so interesting. So we're using the fact that this is built on these 1x5 Technic plate. There we go. So you can see the Technicross axle holes in there. And those line up with these pneumatic T's that we put in here. Uh-oh, lost something there. I think that was from the kitchen. So you can see that, so we can kind of spread that out a little bit. I guess we have to put these in because the mixel joints have to line up. And so the mixel sockets snap in. And wow, yeah, look at the outside edge here. There's like no gaps like whatsoever in this. So this is like doing all sorts of different angles and stuff. And nice and solid. Looks absolutely fantastic. All right. So now looks like we're making some more boarded up stuff, some more shipwreck details. So far, this whole section, hasn't been all that messy or anything, but gotta change that. Make it look like they've been stuck here on this desert island with Gilligan and the skipper too. I really hope some of you people get that reference. Got the steering wheel for the ship. Not doing a lot of steering these days. It's actually locked up in chains hanging off the side, whatever this thing is going to be hanging on. Just kind of dangling there. And so yeah, so there's some clips on here that are going onto this. Definitely a good shipwreck look to it. Still proudly flying the Jolly Roger. Whoop. Add on some leaves, give it that overgrown look. All right. Now I just have to put the deck together here. Knock over some pirates. Alright, there's the deck. And let's see if we can get a good view, a bird's eye view of this. Come on, camera. There we go. And so, if you can maybe see in there, there's actually no studs attaching this in place. So this is just kind of resting on here. It looks like the last little detail we've got is going to be a cannon and then possibly a lantern. Looks like there's, yeah. Cannon there. And a lantern. There we go, snap in there. And then it says go down to the rudder section here. We snap off the bottom, which I actually designed by using a 1x2 or 1x4 plate with only 2 studs. I think that's so it can fit. Alright. This is very unsteady right now, especially with that rudder off. So what's the best one going to be? Excuse me, guys. So we flip this around. And this looks like it's supposed to go like so. And then take our last ladder piece. And that clips on like there. So I guess you have a way of climbing up. And then we can spin this back around. Slide that in place. And boom. So yeah, the rudder acts as the door, and since we popped off the bottom, that lines up perfectly over here. Alright, and that is it for the main build. So we're going to show this off, and then we're going to convert this into the pirate ship. Alright, so we've got a whole slew of minifigures here. All total 2, 4, 6, 8 minifigs. A good variety of pirates and scallywags. But we're gonna push them off to the side, and got a little rowboat as well. And a shark. Alright, I think we're gonna take off the picture-in-picture so we can focus on the set. And maybe we'll turn back on the picture-in-picture and to try to take a closer look at some of the details. So first off, you can see most of it here. We're gonna have to kind of go up a bit, and you can kind of get an idea of just how tall this set is, right? We're still going, there we go, there's the top. So it is not a small set by any means here. And as you could kind of see as we're rearranging things, it does split in two, which I guess makes it easier for moving it around and stuff. Can't really like pose it in different positions. It is definitely designed to go one way and have like these things all kind of connect. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a shipwrecked island here. We've got like 4 pieces of boat hull. I guess 3 pieces of boat hull, kind of all mangled up and rearranged, and taking some other extra planking to make, you know, gangways and stuff. Got the stairs up here that line up with the door in the back of the ship here. Got some stairs up here that go over. Not a lot going on in the front there. It's just kind of perched at an odd angle. There's like 3 cannons scattered throughout. We've got like the nice palm trees. At the bottom here you can see a nice little reference to the Islanders theme, a little statue kind of buried in the sand. The backside, I guess I'll say it doesn't look like the best because it's kind of open a little bit, but I mean, you know, it's a shipwreck, right? So that kind of makes sense that things are just kind of open to the elements. I guess in theory they could have made some things that go into these Technic pinholes here to kind of cover that up, but it's not a big deal. And it does give you access for playability. There's like some bunks in here and a little kitchen in this area. And then we have like the stairs that we added on here to get to the lower deck, and a little door to get into the captain's cabin up there, like a ladder and stuff. So definitely a lot of cool details and stuff, and it looks fantastic. I mean, it's massive. It's can definitely tell immediately that it's like, you know, pirates and stuff, and looks fantastic. Definitely brings back a lot of good memories of the Pirates from the late 80s and early 90s. All right, so let's try to take a closer look at things. We're going to switch over to our webcam view. Oh, there we go, and immediately you can see that little statue I was talking about before. If you remember the Islanders theme from, I guess, probably the early 90s, so this is kind of one of the statues, you know, like a motif that was very popular in a lot of those sets. So it's a cute little reference there. Can see that we've got the little cannon flaps here. Let's see if we can get those to flip up, and there's actually windows behind it. So it's been converted, the cannons have been converted to windows in there. Lots of these little lanterns about, very handy piece. Another cool little detail here is this printed piece, this like 1x3 tile with the clips. It says Jose's Inn. So can pull up the instructions real quick because it talks about the fan designer. So Pablo Sanchez was the person who built the original idea that this got converted into, and so Pablo's father is Jose. So this is kind of a reference to his father, who, you know, played Lego Pirates with him as a kid. So that's a really cool little reference in there. What else we got in here? So we've got a little brig in there with a skeleton hiding out. So yeah, you get put in the brig, and they don't take you out. And you can see there's lots of cool little details here, little crates, barrels with weapons and stuff in it, a little grappling hook in here. So yeah, lots of awesome little details. You can see the stairs coming up here with little flowers. You got a little parrot up there. So that is kind of like one half, and you can see just some of the details on the side of the boat here, with like the ladder going up, the nice different color schemes. Got more of the cannon flaps that are windows. In the back here, can tilt this up, and you can see the little beds in there for some of the pirates. And so that is that half. So let's slide over the other half so you can kind of get a good look at it. You can see again more little details. Got a little pineapple. And you got like the stairs that go up to like the captain's cabin. Lots of great tile work and stuff. No stickers, everything is done with either printed pieces or brickwork. You can see we've got like a little stash down here. There's some cool like details. There's a skeleton hiding in the back that's kind of hard to see, but he's got the Imperial like army hat. And then we've got a kitchen in here. It's got a little fireplace. There's a fish over there ready to be eaten. We've got Redbeard's cabin up there. Oop. You can kind of see, try to take a closer look at that in a sec. And then we've got the front of the ship. I love the Technic Flex axles. They give it some great shaping. This whole section is attached via a couple mixel joints, so it kind of is at this really cool, like off-kilter angle. You've got the masthead going on there. The anchor's got some cool functions. I think when we convert this to the pirate ship, we'll show off the anchor a little more. And a little pig eating out over there. And then let's see if we can show off the captain's cabin. So this whole section here comes up. Just gotta watch for the cannon because that's not attached. Yeah, so there is Redbeard's cabin. He's got like a little sculpture over here. He's got a chair and his desk with all these candles. So definitely some great interior details on there. Yeah, so definitely fantastic build. Like, it looks great. And definitely a fan. It was like a lot of fun to build, you know, having all these different angles and stuff. Keeps things interesting. You know, obviously there's going to be some sections where like you're building one wall of the boat and then the other, and there's going to be a lot of similarities there. But I would say in the grand scheme of things, it definitely keeps things interesting, and there's not a lot of repetition, which is not something you can usually say in like a $200 set. You know, if you think of like the UCS TIE Fighter we built a little while ago, right? Essentially two identical wings that are exactly the same. And while it looks cool at the end, you know, building the same thing twice, it gets a little boring, but you really don't have that in this set at all. So yeah, so I guess we'll do another giveaway. I'll put up that link here, and we will open up bag 15, open up our instructions, and see what we have to do to convert this into the pirate ship. So we've got one last bag of parts here. Not a lot in there, but I guess just enough to make the ship seaworthy again. So yeah, we've got like a bunch of like some Technic axles and plates and some bricks and stuff. Curious, did I miss? They're like, oh, take this part off. Was I supposed to put that part anywhere? No, I guess not. All right. All right, so I guess while we still have the wide view here, we can start taking things apart here. So this part is only attached by 2 mixel joints. So you can just kind of like pop that off, and then it starts falling. And I start breaking things. These mixel joints do have a good bit of friction there. All right, let's fix that. There we go. All right, so there's that. This guy is kind of attached by a few studs. So we can take that off. And I guess you need to take off this ladder too. That's only held on by a clip. And then this whole section is held on by 2 Technic pins. And so then we've got the island with all the Ship parts removed. Oh, all right, that was apparently a little unsteady. So it's still like a not bad shape. I mean, it's clearly missing something at this point, but you know, it's it definitely is still a worthy build here. So we can move that off to one side. Oh, we broke some bits when this piece fell. Move that off over here. Put those bits back on, just so we don't forget where they went. Alright. So like that, we can kind of start seeing the shape of the ship. I'm going to see if I can put that rudder back on, which hopefully will keep this from falling over again. Yeah, I don't think it's good bit of stability. Alright. Winner number 3. Dollar, congratulations, you've won a Kylo Ren buildable figure. Alright, so that was the start of converting it into a ship. It looks like we do need some stuff from the island, actually. So there is a hidden pirate's chest in here. I guess I can put a webcam, a little picture back on. So yeah, from this part, it's saying we need the little treasure chest that was hidden, and a couple of the crates. Says we need, yeah, so it's saying grab all these crates off of here. I think some of these crates are going to be used to like hold together the sections to give it some stability. So it's not, we're not just doing this for looks. And then from this side of the island, we need a couple of barrels. Oh, and more. All right. From in here, another crate, another barrel. All right, that looks like that's everything we're pulling off of the island. So we've got all this stuff. Back part of the ship. So we can pull back a little bit here. All right, so the back part of the ship, we are starting by unclipping this, taking this off, taking this vine out of here, going on the side, taking off that vine, actually taking off this whole lamp here, or lantern, taking the cannon off, taking that lantern off, and the cannonballs also get removed, probably because there needs to be some place to put the ship's wheel here. I think I want another tray to put all this stuff we're taking off in, all these loose parts. So yeah, it's gonna be a question now, once I turn this into a pirate ship, do I want to keep it as the pirate ship, or do I want to turn it back into the island? The last thing we do is we take off these stairs. Alright, now this is looking a lot more new and pretty. Alright, now we move on to the middle section. The whole jail part comes off. I would say take off the cannon, but they're also not showing the cannon in the picture. This part obviously comes off. That was only held on by a couple of studs. So take off the cannonballs. So I assume we'll take off the cannon. We can always put that back later. It's just on some wheels. Taking off the crates here. And the barrel. The bottles. The vines. The leaves. And sorry, Jose, taking off the ensign as well. Probably, yes, then up top, moving up a little bit. Actually, as I was taking off the flag here. Oh, apparently I had that assembled improperly. It was supposed to be like that. That off. That has us taking off the sails, but I don't think we really need to completely remove them. We are taking off the barrel here, and then this whole thing. Alright, that is the center section. Man, I keep popping these flex axles off here. Alright, here. Taking off the vine. This guy. And this vine up here. And the parrot. And apparently this part there, so it stands better. We've got a whole tray here. It's like almost a set in of itself. Alright, so going back, where did the ship's wheel go? So popping this off of the chains. So now that goes on there, and the ship's got a wheel. And now in bag 15, I actually get to do some new building. So you can see. Missing a piece. Did I not take it out of the bag? This happens sometimes. I do something wrong. Ah, didn't follow the directions. It's supposed to be a brick, not a plate. Alright, so just built this little thing. It's got a couple clips on here. It's got a little window with a flap. And this, looks like one of the clips on here is actually going to go into a little clip there. So that fills in the hole there. Makes that nice and solid. And then on the middle section here, get to add on a missing railing. Detail on the side here with some clips that matches what we had on the other side, I think, so we can put on this ladder here. Yep. Clips on there. Swing that up. Clip on up there. Fleshing out our mast a little bit. That was broken previously. Now we get to unfurl the sails. Just take off that little string. Are these on backwards the whole time? Or are they supposed to go this way? It's kind of hard to see which way they're supposed to be. I think these are on backwards. So yeah, you can see just from like a week of having them curled up, they are definitely very curly. Before we put the cones back on there, I guess we should do the top one. Beautiful sight. There's lovely sails. I suppose the advantage of having them curled makes them look like they are full of wind. Now we still do have some sails that we have not even used yet. So we're taking one of those out now. Of course, these ones are not going to be nearly as curled. Okay, and this attaches on here. I gotta get onto this axle as well. Find one of those little parts from before. I toss them here. There we go. Now the string goes down like so. Couple of Technic pins. Maybe. Come on, Technic pin. There we go. That off. The Jolly Roger back on top here. Now I've got some string hanging out. I think I'm confused here. Did I miss something? Looks like they moved on to a whole different section of the boat. It's like we're working on this section. And then it's like move onto here and immediately put on the sails. All right, our last two sails, I guess. Hey, alright. Then we disconnect that string. Interesting. I didn't notice it earlier, but the this sail has slightly bigger openings. They've like got this little slit here, so we can fit this long string through it. It looks like is the idea. All right, so we'll start by threading the needle, so to speak. Take a closer look as I try to do this. Do you feel like once you put this string piece through the sail, you're not going to want to undo it? Oh, it just goes through. Let's go over, kind of like lacing a shoe with it. Top here, that's supposed to go through and connect to there. And then another string goes on here. Alright. Still have some pieces left. Is there still? Alright, there's still more building to be done. And now we get to connect them all. So first piece connects to the second with 2 mixel joints. And then the third connects to the second with a couple Technic pins. And I would not pick this up right now, so I think that is what we're going to be doing with all these extra parts is making things sturdy. Alright, so connecting that string over to there. Flip this around. And so we've got some snot bricks on here, and this is coming across the 2 different sections. So we're going to hold them together, essentially hold them together with some plates here, and then just kind of add on some decorative details as well. And so now this is not going to come apart anymore. Also, it says take, we're going to need our handy brick separator to pop off these jumpers here, which we're used to hold on some of like the shipwreck roof. And we're popping them off and just moving them a couple studs forward so that we're, oh, okay, can't pull it apart from there, apparently. So like the seam is right here, so we're putting the jumpers across that seam. So those mixel joints can't be pulled apart. We're gonna break up here. And we can fix that. this is going to be a pretty big boat. Not sure what I was expecting, but it is pretty awesome. Alright, and then let's take one of these barrels we've got over here. Should that going back here? Lots of flipping it around and around. Alright, because it's kind of looks fairly empty for a pirate ship right now, so we gotta kind of fix that. Where'd our parrot go? Some more cannonballs back in here. Unfortunately, it's not showing like all of the parts. It's just kind of like highlighting them in red and being like, hey, you can figure out what parts we're talking about where, right? So it's like a little annoying here. So at this point, like, I've got to really keep a close eye on the instructions. What are they looking for us to do here? Runaway barrel. And I feel like once you convert this into the pirate ship, to convert it back to the island, it's going to be like a bit messy because you have to remember like all the things you changed and tweaked to get it to be as it is. So yeah, I think like you pretty much have to go back through the instructions, more or less, and like re-follow them all to, if you want to put all the details back to what they were in the original island set. so I think that's about it then. I think I got all the instructions. A little info about the LEGO Ideas process here. And then the inventory. Oh, and here we go. At the end of the instructions, they show the original Black Seas Barracuda, 6285. Let's see, we can kind of compare that. I can see it. You guys probably don't have a very good angle on it, but you can definitely see the resemblance. I think overall this new one is a good bit nicer. Definitely got a lot more details, that's for sure. All right. So we've got a lot of extra stuff. Should probably put the cannons on the ship. Probably can do some of the cannonballs and stuff like that, but and somehow I have an extra string, which doesn't feel like I should have. Like that doesn't seem like something they would give you an extra of, but whatever. Unfortunately, I think you'd have to do some heavy modifications to actually put the cannons in little cannon wells, but we can still put them on the deck here. And yeah, so there's all the extra bits after converting it. And yeah, the Black Seas Barracuda. Let's see how sturdy this is at this point. So I just got it one-handed from the front, and it's not sagging or anything. It's a little harder to grab from the back. There we go, one-handed from the back. Not going anywhere. $1. Perfect timing, just in time to see the finished Black Seas Barracuda. So I think we got one more giveaway to do, so I'll put that link up. And yeah, so here it is. It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the island bits, but I don't think it's going back into the island form anytime soon. Like just to kind of see how tall it is. It keeps going up. There's the flags up there. And yeah, it is. It's pretty awesome. All the details and stuff you've got going on in here. I will say, I feel like you know, there's a lot of interior stuff inside the boat that you cannot get to at this point, because it's all, you know, solidly put together. You cannot no longer pull it apart, and I don't believe any of these things, any of the centerpieces pop up. These are all firmly in place. So the only thing you can really get to is the captain's cabin over here, because that comes out. So you get to the captain's cabin, no problem. And then on the back, I guess we'll put up the webcam real quick before we do our giveaway. On the back here, if you really wanted to, you can move the rudder out of the way, and you should be able to pull. Well, it's clipped in, so it does not want to come out easily, but you can pull that out. You can kind of get into that area, but you can see that was a little tricky to accomplish. So. So yeah, definitely more of a display piece. I'd say that there is one main function here, which is the anchor, which you can kind of pull out, and then you can spool it back in. So that's a cool little feature there. But otherwise, this is just a heaping dose of nostalgia here, at least for someone like me who remembers who's around in the late 80s when the pirate sets were first coming out. So many awesome little details in here, like the railings are lovely, all the little details over the windows, the masthead, you know, we've got 6 sails here. Yeah, just fantastic. You know, we've got our pirate crew that we can populate on here. We've got Brickbeard at the wheel. You know, we got a couple crow's nests up here we can put some pirates in. And this is definitely the side you want to display it on, because these sails are only printed on one side, so if you look at it from the other side, it does not look nearly as good, unfortunately. Can have them like hanging off the ladders here. If I can get their hands to clip onto the ladders. See, definitely fantastic all around there. What was it? I think like 8 minifig pirates, all based on classic, you know, pirate designs, but you know, modernized a bit, and they look great. So I guess like as far as some final thoughts on the set before we pick our last winner. We end up with these 2 chunks of island here. I suppose you could kind of use it to like display around the set, but it almost makes it look like the set, like the ship has run aground. I guess maybe it could be like a port. Maybe you could like kind of combine it so it looks like they're, you know, stopping at a port to hide their treasure or something like that. Kind of gives you some scenery, but these things definitely look empty, right? Like you have like the stairs going to nowhere now and stuff like that. So, you know, these are definitely designed to be displayed with the shipwreck form, not so much the final ship. But honestly, I think the final ship is just so beautiful. It's just fantastic. And definitely everything I hoped and dreamed it would be. So, for $200, it is, you could call it a flagship set. Wah wah. No complaints, no regrets here. All right, so let's see who our last winner of the day is going to be. Bellum Nom Nom, congrats, you've won a Jin Urso buildable figure. So we'll be getting in touch with you to get you that prize. Alright, so yeah, that I think about wraps it up for 21322 Pirates of Barracuda Bay. Fantastic shipwreck set, but even more fantastic pirate ship set. And I guess from that perspective, right, for $200 you get an awesome pirate ship and then a whole bunch of extra parts. I would love to see what people could do. I probably won't have the time to do it, but like to take, I'll scoot you back a little bit, to take our 2 island parts and then all this extra stuff and like just rebuild it into an actual like pirate fort kind of thing, so it doesn't look like it's completely empty. I'm sure you could do a lot of stuff with all the parts left over to make it look great. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll take a look at, you know, what you guys have been asking for as far as future live builds. I think probably Monkey Kid is going to be near the top, if not the top, selection. So we will probably be doing that. I don't know if we're going to be building next week. We might take a weekend off after we got through this set. And yeah, so we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Congratulations to all of our winners. And we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. And I hope you have a great weekend. As always, stay safe and wear a mask. Bye, guys.